Hey, welcome to Bill's Seadoo Midlife Crisis. My name is Bill, and welcome to November 2024 and the beginning of my winter project. So, for the few of you that have followed this channel, you know that during the winter I like to have a project to work on in the garage, something just to keep me busy. Usually, it is something along the lines of an old 98, 99, 2000 two-stroke machine. Last year I had a Four-Tech machine in 2002 that I redid and sold in the spring, this past spring. And this year I was trying to buy another machine to work on over the winter. And even though I'm leaning against one, this is not one that I purchased. Truth is, I couldn't find one to buy. Could be a combination, who knows? I just couldn't find anybody who had a reasonably beat up 98, 97, 99 GTX or GTI, which is what I usually like to work on, who was willing to sell it for anything reasonable. Everybody kind of wanted like the redone price for skis that weren't redone yet. So it just didn't make sense for me to, pay kind of a redone price, put a bunch of money into it, and then lose money in the spring. Because I kind of think this coming spring, these will be worth even less than they are now, contrary to the popular belief of the guys who own them at the end of the season, who I think could just as well, just as soon store them instead of sell them cheap. So I couldn't get one. Anyway, luckily for me, I have a friend, guy I play in a band with, who has two machines, a GTX and a GTI, or maybe two GTIs. Anyway, it doesn't matter. What I didn't know is he had this machine, a 2000 XP Limited. And long story, I don't even know the whole story to be honest, but he acquired this machine, a friend of a friend, someone getting forced. He ended up with the machine. I don't even think he paid much for it, but it's in running condition, working, but it is in very rough cosmetic condition. And I said to him, I kind of proposed to him, would he be interested in storing it in my garage and letting me do a bunch of cosmetic work on it and maybe a little bit of mechanical work. I don't know that it needs a ton, but some. And if he paid for the parts, I'd do the labor and enjoy, the process, which, as you know, I do. And in the spring, he can sell it. And and that'll be that. He'll make some money. I'll have something to do over the winter. It won't cost me any money. He'll make a little extra money because it'll look way better in the spring. Seemed like a win-win, and he was into it. So thanks, Doug. I appreciate it. What I think I'm going to do is show you what I've got and what I'm planning to do, and we're going to kind of take it from there. I've actually done a little bit of work on this already, and I'll maybe show some clips of that. It was just mainly planing work. But let me grab the camera. I'm going to flip it around, do a little walk around, some close-ups, and show you what's going on with this. Overall, it's structurally in pretty good shape. Cosmetically, not so much. Anyway, hang on. Let's have a look. Okay, so here we are. Starting kind of at the front. Main thing on this machine is the oxidation. You can see how oxidized it is. It is very chalky. So not at all glossy. Not overly, marked up, some scratches. Of course, those numbers are super faded, but the main problem is that it's been sitting out in the sun, not properly covered. So it's very oxidized. But on the upside, the plastic, so the silver part here and the yellow, which I've just washed with a bit of degreaser, and I haven't really done anything serious with it, but it's not in bad shape at all. So I think that's going to clean up. There's some mold that I have to get off of there, but in general, pretty good. Like I said, the silver is in great shape. There's a few marks here. The plastic here, the nose cone, or the nose, I guess that's the nose cone, that's a little beat up, but I think that'll come back. The rub rails are a little bit beat up, a little worse on the other side. There's some more dark rash on there. One of the main things that's bad news here is the seat. The seat has a big crack in it right there, and so I'm going to try to fix that. We're going to try to get this cover off and wrap it with a new one. What is in excellent shape is the gauges. Now, I'm not 100% sure if they work, and neither was Doug. but we're going to get the battery in there and have a look. Inside, I won't open it up, but inside it's in very good shape. The actual, you know what, I will open it up in a minute and show you. What's not in great shape are these traction pads. Traction mats, not in good shape. I'm just going to get another light here so I can light it up a bit more for you. So traction mats, somebody's painted them, and they've painted this black, and then they've done some sort of like faux splatter kind of effect. It's pretty cool actually. On the I guess these were yellow originally, and then the black part is painted. So what I think I'm going to try to do, this might not work. I'm going to try to paint them again black and do just a yellow outline, because back here on the back, let's get the light here on it. See how that Seadoo? That Seadoo looks super cool, and I think that's going to look really cool if it's painted yellow again. So I'm going to try to paint the original mats again black, and see if we can make them look okay. And if they don't look good, we're going to take them out and put in some new foam mats, and not worry about it. In here, let's just, if I take a quick look in there, I don't know how well you're going to be able to see that. I've only got one hand here, so it's hard to get the light in here. So in here, in pretty good shape, all in all. I gave this a pretty quick wash, and I mean, it's it's a little oily, but not bad. And the battery's not in at the moment. Again, overall, the top deck is in good structural shape, but not in great shape in terms of the glossiness factor. Underneath now, so the hull. So it was in the water for the better part of a full season, and you can see it's pretty discolored. What you can't see, I'll show it in some of the other clips that I took. It had, from the water line down, it was crusted, like it had like whatever mineral crust on there, and I blew it off with the power washer, but now it's all discolored here. So I'm going to do my best. I think I'm going to try to wet sand and compound the bottom and get it as kind of from about here up to the rub rail. I'm going to try to get it as uniform and glossy as possible, and not worry about it too much. We're not going to go for perfection here on the bottom, but as you can see, the bottom, I haven't taken a super close look at it, but by and large, it is in really good shape. Like, it's not dinged up, like, so this thing hasn't been beat up by the looks of it. Now you can see the decals are a little rough. This one in particular, this one had a lot of crust. That's where the crust came. That's where the water line was right there. We're not going to worry about changing those. These decals in excellent shape. These ones, these are about a 6 or 7 out of 10. Pretty good. These ones down here, you can see right here, that's starting to, there's lots of degradation there, but again, we're not going to worry too much about it. Like, overall, it looks good, and if you step back, this thing looks pretty good, and when it's all shiny, it's going to look amazing. So that's kind of where we're at. It's going to be a lot of compounding, some wet sanding likely on the bottom for sure anyway, and a lot of scrubbing on the plastic, and then recovering the seat. Mechanically, let me just put the camera down for a second and open up the hood. Okay, so here we are looking in the hood. It's in pretty good shape. Now, I've washed this out, so it is pretty good. As you can see, and I'm just seeing down here, the oil tank is leaking a little bit because this was perfectly clean, and I don't know if you can see it right down there. You can see a little bit of oil, and that is coming from the grommet by the looks of it on the bottom of the oil tank. Pretty common, not going to worry about it. Again, this machine is to be sold, so it's if it's perfect, it's not going to be perfect. The motor, 951, in very good shape as far as it has something like 170 hours on it. So it's it doesn't really, probably doesn't need a rebuild yet. It definitely could use the fuel lines redone, and use a new grommet by the looks of it now. But I mean, by and large, it is in really clean condition for a machine that I've just done like a 5-minute power wash on with some super clean. So if it's running and it's running well, then we're not going to change anything change anything in terms of fuel system and stuff in here. Oil pump, would definitely use new oil lines. Again, that'll be up to Doug whether he wants to spend the money on the like an oil line kit and a carb rebuild kit, and the money to change the fuel lines. I'm down to do it for him, but that'll be up to him. The one thing that we are going to do is take apart, I don't know if I'll be able to see it. Now here's the pump. So the pump, as you can see, is in pretty gnarly condition, and that's after I power washed it. So I power washed this like crazy, and to get all the crusties off of it, and I got a lot of them off, but not all of it. And as you can see, it hasn't really been taken care of very well. And there's some of the crust on the back right there that you can see that I couldn't get off. I'm going to have to sand that off. So what I want to do, and I've said to Doug, I'd like to take this pump off, change the nose cone oil for sure, see how the bearing sounds, the impeller bearing, and see how the wear ring and the impeller look, and see if they need changing. Because it's not expensive if they do need it, and if they do, we're going to do that. So, but as you can see, the bottom is in good shape but super discolored. It's going to be tricky to make that look good again, but we're going to give it a try and see how we can do. So okay, so that's it. That's the machine, 2000 XP, 951 carb version. Again, we're not doing much mechanical, all cosmetic for the most part, and I'll make some videos as I go, and hopefully you guys can enjoy watching me do it. For the people doing it for the first time or learning, hopefully these videos will help show you how to approach a few things, and with my videos always a few tips on what not to do as well. I'm an amateur. I do this for fun and I'm learning as I go, but so far I've gotten pretty good results. So hopefully you'll enjoy, and we'll have fun doing it together. Thanks for watching, and I will see you once we start in on probably the first thing. I think I'm going to tackle the bottom, sanding and polishing, see how that goes, and that's probably where a lot of the initial work, and that's going to probably be the first video. So stay tuned and check that one out. Thanks for watching. Take care.